Hello, everyone, and welcome to State of the Game for September 29th, 2016. We have new microphones.
We have new microphones.
I'm really hoping they're working. I guess we'll see in chat very, very quickly.
So chat, tell us how it goes. Hopefully the sound should be better.
Should be much better.
Nerf microphones.
Exactly.
Nerf microphones.
All right, so obviously the first week of the PTS has been like a bombard of information for the community and for us, and for Frederick, who we have here. For the people who haven't seen Frederick on the stream before, do you want to introduce yourself very quickly?
Yeah, I'm Frederick. I work with the guns and the gear sets and the weapon mods and a lot of the numbers behind the scenes.
The first week of the PTS, we learned a lot.
Amazing.
Right?
It's been so great.
It's been crazy.
Talking to everybody, playing with everybody.
It's been huge, and just as, we've been watching, obviously, a lot of people on the stream. There's like, I was watching Wids yesterday, and he's come up with some crazy stuff. There's a lot of new builds coming out, obviously, and I want to have this disclaimer throughout everything that we do. This is a work in progress.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, there's been a lot of threads, and it's great that you guys are engaged with the PTS so much that you're giving us feedback all the time. But remember, that feedback needs to be implemented and refined and all those sorts of things. And we'll go a little bit more into that information now, because we have the next phase of the PTS starting
week 2.
Today.
We have week 2 starting, exactly. So,
all right.
So yeah, what is happening with what we're calling week 2 now, which starts today? So we're updating the PTS with a bunch of changes. If you haven't seen it already, we actually published the patch notes on the forums.
Those are up now, right?
Yeah, they're out now. They were published about 30 minutes ago. So
great. I'll make sure to.
So what's going to happen with this update, on top of all the changes we're bringing that we're going to talk about, the most important thing, and a lot of people have been asking about that, we're wiping everything first. So all the characters that you worked on the PTS, I'm not talking about live here, so no panic. On the PTS, all the characters that you worked on, the fresh level 30 that you went through the world tier progression and everything, we're erasing all of that. The reason why we're doing that is because now we're actually going to transfer your characters from the live game to the PTS. So you're going to get all your characters from the 1.3 version that you can play on the live servers. You're going to get everything transferred to the PTS. For those of you who actually don't have characters on the live version or don't have level 30 characters on the live version, don't worry, you will still be able to create a directly level 30 character. So if you create a new character on the PTS, you're still going to get a fresh level 30 with purple gear. So you can still test 1.4 with a level 30 character, but you won't keep the level 30 character you had on week 1 of the PTS. That's the only thing. We're removing all of them.
Nice.
So you're getting your main character. The reason why we're doing that is because this week what we want, or for week 2, what we want to test, now we had a lot of data on progression through world tiers, going from fresh level 30 to actually world tier 4 and real endgame min-maxing. Now we want to focus more on world tier 4 and the real endgame part. So we are transferring your characters. We want to first test the whole part about the changes that we applied in 1.4, how do that apply retroactively on your characters, because we've been talking about it and we have some more details on that. But we want to make sure that from a technical standpoint, it actually works correctly. We're not breaking anything. We are not. There's probably going to be weird situations with cases that we haven't anticipated. So that's why we're going to do that on the PTS. And also, we want you guys to focus on World Tier 4 and really try the real min-maxing with existing gear, with new gear, and all of that. So this is going to be closer to what would be the experience if we were to patch 1.4 right now on the live.
I was just going to say, it really kind of acts as a test bed for day 1, right? With a new context of all the balancing we've done for 1.4.
Where are we changing with PTS week 2? So we have patch notes. Go on the forums if you want all the details. I'm going to go through some of them, some of the changes we did. A lot of them are based on your feedback. So yeah, there are a lot of things that should ring a bell. So yeah, in terms of game changes, gameplay, so small things or not so small, but yeah. Player grenade damage, that's now going to scale with the world tier you're in.
That's cool.
Right.
So that sounds small, but that's actually pretty good.
I think that's really good.
Yeah, it makes them usable. Their damage component, they've been used as status effects or for flushing out enemies purely at endgame, and now they're relevant as part of your damage rotation.
It's been really cool because when I've gone through the 1 to 30 experience, I've thrown a few grenades and they've actually killed stuff.
Stuff
I'm like, oh, that's so
I know.
cool. No, so it'd be cool to have that.
Because now they were just like scaled for 30, right?
Yes,
Not
and so
31,
they
32.
fell off
Yeah.
as you went through the world tiers.
So now you're actually going to get 31, 32, 33 power level grenades, which is good.
Scaling.
The next one, and that's I think one that's going to make everybody very happy, we are finally nerfing the shotgunners. The NPC
The
shotgunners.
NPC shotgunners, all right.
Yes, we are nerfing them.
Too damn high.
So what are we nerfing? We are nerfing their damage fall-off and their accuracy that are being slightly reduced. So the idea is that they're going to have a bit less range and they're going to be less precise when they're shooting at you.
Basically, the cone is going to spread further, so
Yeah.
less pellets are going to hit you.
So basically, they're still going to be very powerful when they get close, but they're going to be a bit less powerful when they're in mid-range or long range. So they're not going to snipe you the way they used to.
We'll take feedback on it.
Well, I can already
play,
see the feedback in Twitch chat, and there's just a lot of yay.
Yeah.
So that's
So it's
the first
people
popular
seem to be
nerf.
happy.
it's it's a subtle change, but that should be significant enough. But tell us how it feels. Though, that's something we actually didn't put in the patch notes, but a lot of you noticed it. We added in week 1, we actually added underground checkpoints. We are removing them. We're removing them because it's not working. That's something we wanted to try. But the problem was that when you would die, you would respawn directly at the entrance of the room you were in, which means most of the time you would respawn directly in the middle of the fight. So you would die again.
Often that would happen.
It was kind of broken. We wanted to try a quick fix like that.
Yeah,
Didn't work.
but the environment wasn't really built for calm areas and checkpointing in that way.
Yeah.
Again, it might be something that we look at for the future, but like the solution that we have for it right now.
Yeah.
That's
So yeah, that's definitely something that we will bring back when we have a better implementation. But the quick fix we wanted to put for 1.4 is not working, so we're removing it. So no checkpoints for underground. So we are back to how it was before. Other change that it's kind of interesting. Player health will now progressively regenerate to full when you're out of combat.
Right.
So not the free segments anymore. It's actually going to.
Yeah, basically it made things like using med packs and first aid mandatory, but outside of combat, which is really uninteresting.
Yeah.
And so when you're out of combat, you just get to reset to full again. It makes the game a lot smoother.
Yeah, which is good.
Sorry, just to go back for a second. A lot of people were saying, the checkpoints worked well for them in the underground. There may be some people who had good experiences. I myself did as well when I was playing underground yesterday. And some people were saying, why not, in multi-phase versions have it so the checkpoints at the start of each phase. Maybe, again, we will look at what the best solution.
All right, in terms of stats, so that's stuff that
Let's go.
You can talk about. Armor damage mitigation cap changed from 60% to 70%.
It was a test we did. I think you'll find it really difficult to reach the cap. But
it's pretty hard to reach already.
Yeah, but you should be able to keep stacking that armor because now you're making a trade-off for it. So it's okay to have the cap that high. You're not going to reach it without the sacrifices that it should have.
So what's that, around 13,000?
I can't remember that
well, we have
conversion
11
at tier 4.
It's 11,565.
Yeah, because again, and you bring a good point, which is at tier 4, because the damage mitigation result changes depending on the world tier you're in. So it does not require the same amount of armor depending on which world tier.
Yeah, so you can go down and help your friend on the lower tier, and you're going to see the effects of your armor, which otherwise would just bump into that cap. So.
Absolutely. Another thing that was a bit too OP in a way, the health and kill bonus on gear that is being reduced by 50%.
It's a bit easy. So the new kill times means that kill events happen much more frequently, and so health on kill became a lot more powerful, and therefore we have to scale the amount you can stack on each gear piece down. We were seeing some very hard to kill builds.
The unkillable builds with predatory and
we're still gonna keep it there on the gear set, but the rolled bonuses on loose high ends.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
Okay, so I'm skipping some of it. I see a lot of people asking when is 1.4 coming out. We are not going to give you a date, guys. If you're here for a date, you're not going to get more of a date than what you had in the past, which is still, we are aiming for October, but based on all the feedback we're getting and all that, we'll see how it goes. That's what the PTS
We want to make it
is
as good as we can.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want to talk about it, Tactician's Authority, the 2-piece is now 10% skill haste, and the 3-piece is now 10% skill power.
Yeah, and skill haste changed as well, so that it's 10% means that it's 10% shorter between your skills, and it's a nice 2-piece for people to be able to dip into from other builds.
Yeah. Lone Star 3 pieces is now 8% damage bonus for LMG and shotgun. So it's not a flat bonus, it's a percentage.
Because the flat bonus just simply doesn't scale with the world tiers, whereas a percentage does.
Yeah.
Would this also work better across different weapons within that weapon type as well?
No, so firearms, this just literally increases the base damage by a certain percentage.
Okay,
Yeah, before
cool.
crits or whatever.
And if people are wondering, 8%, this is basically equivalent to the bonus you would get at level 30 with the flat bonus we were providing, right?
It's somewhere in that region, depending on which world tier you're comparing to.
Yeah, of course, but no. So with 31, 32,
level
33, the bonus is going to be equivalent to what you were getting.
We'll see as well, based on the next week's feedback, if it's over or underpowered.
Yeah. People are asking about SMGs. We're going to get to that, guys. Predator's Mark. So 2-piece is now 10% reload speed, which is nice. 3-piece it's the same. It's 8% damage bonus on assault rifle and SMG.
But it's SMG and not pistol damage.
So what used to be assault rifle pistol? What was it, 800, 700, I think?
When the set was implemented, giving out SMG damage would have been really toxic because we had a strong SMG meta. But now, hopefully, everything's balanced enough so that that's a fun set to have.
So you could have a SMG primary, assault rifle secondary? Okay, that's cool.
Synergizes with applying those Predator Smarts.
Yeah, and also another change to Predator, which is with the 4-piece. Because the bleed now is 50% of the total amount damage.
Right, so you were... When played correctly, like as in applying the bleed and then leaving that target to bleed, that damage multiplication was just a little bit too high for the new meta. Normally, you tend to overwrite the bleed when you shoot another 10 bullets, to overwrite the bleed when you shoot another 10 bullets in, so you wouldn't see how really powerful that was, but in some edge cases, it turned out really, really powerful.
Yeah. So, I mean, the application of this, people will still notice the bleed being really powerful, right?
Yeah.
Because that whole 100%, you'd probably only often get 50% of it.
We'll see how it works out. Predator was quickly becoming quite popular.
Really popular. Yeah. Yes. Again, and this is why the PTS is really good, because we get to test these things.
So Frederick is like, okay, get back to work.
Yeah, let's get back to work.
All right. Okay. What was it? Were you Reclaimer?
Reclaimer, yeah. So
yes. So we are bringing it back.
So Reclaimer does the same thing, but it follows the rules of the game. It triggers your consumable cooldowns, and it follows the rules of them, which means that it's a remote control for people's cooldowns, and it means that you, as a group, won't run out, but it doesn't allow you to stack a bunch of silly stuff that shouldn't be able to stack, and chain it with multiple Reclaimers in a group, and all of those things that used to sort of break that experience.
Yeah. Cool.
So it's still going to work pretty much the same, but just the way it should have worked to begin with.
Sure, if you will.
In a way.
And I guess we'll see when the...
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then the big one, and I've seen a lot of people were talking about it in the chat.
What is the Banshee?
Blind is gone.
Awesome.
Blind is dead. Long live Banshee.
So we figured that we have a meta now where maybe we have 10, 13, whatever functioning good gear sets instead of a few, and this is the time where we could look at one and make it specialized. And Blind really wasn't working. It was dropping grenades where on the one place where you knew that someone had already died, etc. So we couldn't make it very good or very interesting. So we're trying out this Dark Zone focused gear set. I think some people will find it interesting, others will ignore it, and that's fine.
That's cool.
There's other builds for them.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah. So that's something interesting to have a gear set that is focused on PvP. We've seen a lot of people talking about Bungie is fucked up. Try it and tell us if you think it is.
Oh, absolutely.
But the thing is, it's something we're trying. It's also feedback we actually got in the past. People were asking for PvP focused gear set. We're going to try. I've seen a lot of people saying it doesn't make sense to have a PvP gear set dropping in PvE activity. That might be something we could...
Maybe that's something we do. I don't know.
Yeah.
Economy side and loot side isn't my thing, but...
Yeah. But could be something we would look at as well. So just give us your feedback, guys. Just don't be mad about it. If you don't like it, just tell us.
And people are asking about the blind rifle.
Yeah.
And we're not doing new content in this patch, but there's certainly that rifle is coming out at some point. But since it's synergized with the old blind set, we have to rework it some, make it interesting.
Figure out where it kind of fits in that whole thing. The idea of having a weapon that works in
absolutely
as a catalyst to make the set even better.
I'd like that.
That's cool, but not right now.
So just one thing for those of you who actually didn't read the patch notes and are like, what the fuck are they talking about? What's Banshee? So Banshee, So again, it's replacing blind, which means that when you're going to log in, all the blind pieces you had are actually going to turn into Banshee pieces. So we're not removing your blind pieces, we're just replacing them by Banshee. So the bonus of Banshee, 2 pieces plus 20% dark zone currency gained.
Right, and that, I get a lot of questions why that's good. There's nothing to buy for the dark zone currency, but there is. You're going to be able to buy sealed caches for it. There's going to be other stock at the vendors, etc.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a good farming currency.
It's going to be good. 3 pieces plus 10% damage to target out of cover.
Right, this is the same bonus as on LMGs. We see that it's a very useful stat in the Dark Zone.
Yeah, in PvP, because people don't really use
But also in the
cover
Dark
as
Zone,
much,
you have a lot of patrols that,
Yeah.
and a lot of non-fixed combat situations, so you have a lot more moving targets.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. It would be interesting to see if it forces players to be more tactical with their use of cover, which is still something that, in honesty, we've been kind of yet to see in that PvP.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting.
And then the 4-piece bonus, so that's where it gets interesting. So for the first time, we actually we bring a gear set that has changing bonus depending on situation.
And the first one that relies on the rogue mechanic.
And it relies on the rogue mechanic. So the 4-piece bonus, while rogue, when you're rogue, all ammo is completely refilled every 30 seconds.
Because you can't run to the stashes and the safe houses and replenish.
Exactly. And damage taken from non-rogue players is reduced by 10%.
Right. So it's not granting them more direct power. It's making manhunts and last stands something that can happen.
And then while not rogue, so as we said, it's changing depending on if you're rogue or not rogue. And when you're not rogue, so the first bonus, so let's say damage to rogue player is increased by 10%.
Actually,
I go with this one and then I'll explain the other one. So damage to rogue players is increased by 10% when you're actually not rogue, which can either negates the damage mitigation that they get from Banshee, or otherwise if they don't have Banshee.
Or just turns you into a rogue hunter.
Yeah, you can be a rogue hunter. And then there's a second bonus, so the reason why I'm talking about this one second, movement speed is increased by 20%. This is going to be on the PTS, but just so you guys know, we're going to change this bonus because for technical reasons and performance reasons, this is not something we can do.
Yeah, the movement speed didn't work in some parts of the Dark Zone.
So you can play with it in the PTS, but know that the movement speed is going to go and we're going to replace it with something else. What? Tell us. Tell us what you'd like to see.
Suggestions. Give us feedback. It's a new gear set. It's the first time we're trying it out. So obviously it's a little bit behind the curve in terms of feedback. So, please write on the forums. We'll maybe start a thread about it. And
let us know what you think would be a good idea. I mean, it's again, this is the cool thing about the PTS. You can try it out, and the community. We have a really cool knowledge base with the community.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I see a lot of people commenting on the 20%. Yeah, 20% movement speed. It's a very good bonus, but again, it's not going to stay. So don't freak out too much about it. We're going to have to change it to something else. So just give a suggestion on what you think it should be.
Weapon guy.
So let's talk about weapons with the weapon guy. So first few things. You have, I don't know if it's you, but updated the DPS calculation formula. Kind of.
Yeah, there's another iteration going on the PTS today. It's more similar to what's on live, but it doesn't. You can't jack up your DPS by stacking accuracy, so it counts all headshots. It's ideal DPS, as if everything you hit was a headshot. That I think it's better, but it's not super great because sometimes it encourages people that aren't so versed in the DPS to stack more headshot damage than maybe other stats. So we're going to have another look at it, but it's better than what it used to be.
Yeah. Cool. It's better. It's something different. Give us your feedback. Tell us what you think about it, and we'll probably keep working on it and iterating based on what we see. Another thing that's related to weapons, and it's weapons, but good change. Weapon recalibration. When you recalibrate a weapon now, you will actually have 3 additional choices of weapon talents. So instead of having 3 weapon talents plus the one you initially had, you will have 6 weapon talents plus the one you initially had.
So it'll be way easier to
pick from in the recalibration.
So the idea is that you should be able eventually, hopefully, you should get the talent you're looking for before running out of choice. That's a good one.
Yep.
Now changes to weapons.
Right.
To
so
weapon damages.
The overarching changes, as we saw in the first week of PTS, LMG meta growing strong, so LMGs have been brought down partially through reducing their bonus, the damage to target out of cover, and partially by adjusting some of the individual weapons. SMGs have been resurrected into the meta, hopefully. They're not reaching the same amount of, exactly the same amount of critical strike damage as they do on live, but they have had their damage brought back up a little bit.
That's cool.
We want to not have them as super spiky as they were on live, but still have them definitely competitive. So please try it out, make some crit builds, see how it works out.
Nice, and you do have some